Hey guys, it's Josh. Welcome to week 7 as I relearn the guitar and go from an intermediate player to an advanced. This past week was pretty good for the most part, so I was able to practice pretty much every weekday. Weekends, I wasn't exactly super consistent with, and by that I mean I didn't practice at all on Saturday, and Sunday I sort of practiced in the sense that I learned new exercises and licks to try to make my improv better. But let's just dive right into the improv and just see how that sounds. So here we go. Alright, so there is my improv, and before I share my reflections, let's just dive into the technique and check that out. So here we go. Okay, let's start with the chromatic scale. That was pretty easy. Oh, hello. Okay, not bad. 140. All right, that was pretty good. Let's do 150. Mostly clean, but I'm gonna do that again. There we go. And 160. Oh, hold on. This is hard. I think that was somewhat clean, but maybe not totally in time. Last time. All right, I'll probably stop that there. And you know what, just for the hell of it, let's just pick up from the spider exercise right from 160. I don't usually start it off right that fast, but we'll just YOLO. It felt pretty easy. Let's go to 170. Damn, this is not bad. All right, 180. There we go. All right, and 190. Ah, this is hard. Oh, I think I got that. Let's do it. Oh, I've never done 200. Let's go. Ah, this is so friggin' hard. Ooh, I'm sweating. That honestly didn't feel terrible. I mean, it felt hard as hell, but I feel like it wasn't awful. I'm not going to call it clean. I'm not going to call that a win. So I'm going to say that 190 is probably where I'm at with that. Boom. And there we have it. So there is the technique part. I didn't learn any more of the never going back. I promise I'm going to learn more of it. I don't know. This weekend wasn't exactly high motivation for me for whatever reason. So this upcoming week will be good. But I do want to share just sort of my general reflections on some things. So I would say the biggest breakthrough, actually, okay, I would say this past week was probably the biggest breakthrough I had on transitioning between the different patterns of the pentatonic scale. Because what I did was I would sit there and instead of just kind of noodling through the pentatonic scale, what I did was, okay, let me break it down to what if I were to just take two strings and take them all the way up the neck. So and just kind of go up and down like that for every single string. And so as I was doing that, this epiphany came to me, and the fact that I found the pattern that literally just repeats up and down the fretboard. So if I see I don't know. So if I see, I already know that. So basically I found this pattern that can just repeat. So if I know this, so I don't even, okay, so this is good and bad in the sense that there are some times where I don't know what pattern I'm in if I were to continue up the strings, but it's nice in the sense that I don't have to stay just in one shape anymore. I can kind of bounce around, and that is getting easier because I know that if I have, for example, this pattern, then I know that it's going to be, and then sandwiched between a. So by learning that, it just unlocked so much freedom with improv. And I mean, it's not where I want it yet, but it is so much easier for me to be able to just go. Whoop. Well, of course I can't do it on the spot right now, but you get what I'm saying though, and that it's getting easier, at least for me, to be able to go up and down the neck in a pentatonic. And then the other pattern I noticed is that while going through this, I realized that before I was trying to figure out what mode I was in based off of what pattern I found, but I decided to go off of pattern logic more. But pattern logic, I don't think that that's a thing, but we're going to make it a thing right now. So I used my pattern logic, and I realized that if I wanted to add some notes that were not in the pentatonic scale, but were in the overall scale of the song, then there's certain things that I can add. So for example, if I have this pattern, then I know that, so anything that has a minor third interval, so this, I know that if there's two stacked on top of each other, I know I can add this note and this note. So I know that if I ever encounter that again, so even up here, and I know that, and now knowing I can even continue it, because I know that if I see two minor thirds in a row and on the middle strings, then I know that I can just now, of course, that just sounds kind of like random notes, but it does make it a little bit easier and adds a little more flavor than just noodling through the pentatonic. So being able to add those notes in from different modes. So I'd say honestly, week 7 is probably the biggest breakthrough in terms of improv technique. I'm like I keep saying in past videos, I try to get faster and faster, but it's definitely reaching a point to where I honestly feel like I probably have to increase the amount of time that I practice if I really want to see significant gains in the speed that I'm playing. Trying to think, I think there was a couple other things. I kind of wrote down a few other things that I wanted to talk about. The patterns. I did change my practice routine a little bit. So usually my practice routine is I would do 10 minutes of speed drills or technique drills, 10 minutes of going through all the modes, and then on every day of the week I would start on a different mode, and then I would do 10 minutes of improv. But now I've switched it. So I still do the 10 minutes of technique, but now I do 5 minutes of modes and then 5 minutes of me going between all the different, basically going between the different patterns of the pentatonic scale. So I'm trying to think of patterns more than I am names of things, which I guess probably has like benefits and drawbacks, but the patterns make more sense to me and I don't have to think as hard, and if I can think less, I think that's best as far as playing overall. So that's kind of where I'm at, I think. Oh, and I did this a little bit, so one of the things I've been doing to try to get better at doing my solos and my improvs is I've been looking at, instead of like learning licks, which are, I think learning licks is okay, but I think the best way that I found to do it is to actually just watch other people solo and to just emulate it. So with the improv that I do, a lot of times so the guy, shout out to Elevated Jam Tracks, I always use his backing tracks when I solo because he makes, first of all, the perfect length backing track. They're about 10 minutes long and they're really freaking good, broken down into different categories. If you're a guitar player and you want some really killer backing tracks, Elevated Jam Tracks is your guy. But all that to say that a lot of times he has the backing track, but then at the very end he'll do like a solo, and he solos really well actually. And so what I'll do is emulate his solo, because people have different phrasings and different licks that I just, one, don't have the muscle memory to do, because I'm always stuck in what's easy for me. And so if I look at how other people play and I try to play something that's out of my comfort zone, then I know it's going to help me that much more. So I've kind of taken building my improv skills to being more modeling how other people solo versus just trying to learn random licks and incorporate it. Because if I can model someone solo, then I know how their different phrasings and how their licks are incorporated into the overall theme of the solo. All right, so that's kind of where I'm at now. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions on things I can do to make this better, drop a comment. I am going to be, I think I'm going to be starting a new series actually on Twitch on Tuesdays. I really love the Twitch platform, and so I think on Tuesdays I'm going to start doing basically making a track. And so I'll be going through making a track, and I'll be getting input from you all on things that I should add to it, because I always think it's cool to get other people's opinions, because I have my way on what I think sounds good, but I think kind of having a crowdsourced song project would be really cool, actually. So I'm gonna do that probably not tomorrow, but starting next week. So if you like Twitch and you like to do that, you can follow me on there. It's Josh Simons PT. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, give it a sub. And until next time, I will see you in the next video.